Totally up to you in terms of what your time is like.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Yeah,
Hare Krishna Madhupati,
please accept my humble obeisance.
Lord History Prabhupada. Just got back from Satsuma.
Everything okay?
Yeah, good. Looks like it rubbed my tilak off, but otherwise it was good. And there's an outside pocket there. It has yeah, you have to close it up. Yeah. You can pull out the content. No, you don't have to do that. Just pull out the content. That's a good thing. Good.
Rasananda Prabhu is not joining today, so
Sorry?
Rasananda Prabhu is not going to be
So you're
there.
taking charge. Good.
I don't know what's happening, but yeah.
Well, what should be happening right about now is kirtan.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're reading Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yeah.
And we need to be live streamed and all of that.
Yeah, that I already did.
Okay.
So it's live streamed. And live stream itself takes care of the recording, right? Or I separately record it.
Okay. I've never done it, so I don't know.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
it.
Alrighty. Um, Anybody would like to do kirtan? Or let's start the kirtan.
Yes.
Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Gurudas Jayādvaita Swami Nitinamine Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Premanande.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramansa Pariprajaka Sto Shri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramansa Pariprajaka Sto Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kunda Radha Kumini Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Ki Jai. Gangamai Ki Jai. Jamunamai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande.
We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Caritamrita. Much, do you know where?
I see that we're in chapter 17 of Adi Leela, and my mark is at text 170.
Okay.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Shaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatara. Srila Prabhupada, rather Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was speaking with Chand Kaji, the Muslim magistrate. They've done, he and his Mahaprabhu and his devotees have been doing Sankirtan against the Kaji's orders. And now there's a discussion going on between the Kaji and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kaji says, Kopito Amar Shastro Ami Shabjani Jati Anurodhe Prabhu She Shastra Mani. I know that our scriptures are full of imagination and mistaken ideas. Yet because I am a Muslim, I accept them for the sake of my community, despite their insufficient support. Well, there's a topic for interreligious dialogue. Everyone's embark on that here. Sahaje Yavana Shastre Adrito Vichar Ashi Tahe Mahaprabhu Uchain Arbar. The reasoning and arguments in the scriptures of the meat-eaters are not very sound, the Kaji concluded. Upon hearing this statement, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiled and inquired from him as follows. Ar eko prashna kori, suno, tumi mama, yatartha kohive, chale na vanjive ama. My dear maternal uncle, Mama, I wish to ask you another question. Please tell me the truth. Don't try to cheat me with tricks. Tomaro nogare hoi shada shankirtan vaja gita kola hola shangita narton. In your city, there's always congregational chanting of the holy name. A tumultuous uproar of music, singing, and dancing is always going on. Tumi Kaji, Hindu Dharma Birote Adhikari, Ebe Ye Na Koro Mana, Bhujite Na Pari. As a Muslim magistrate, you have the right to oppose the performance of Hindu ceremonies. But now you do not forbid them. I cannot understand the reason why. The Kaji said, Kaji bole, sope tomai bole korohori, se name ami tomai, shambotana kori. Kaji said, everyone calls you Korohari. Please let me address you by that name. Suno Korohari, e prashner karo, brita hao yori, tabe kori nivedon. Kindly listen, O Korohari. If you come to a private place, I shall then explain the reason. Prabhu bole, e loka amar antorango hoy. Puta kori kahatumi na korida hoy. The Lord replied, all these men are my confidential associates. You may speak frankly. There's no reason to be afraid of them. Kaji kohe, Jobe ami hindur kore, iya, irtona korilun mana mridanga pangia, she ratre eka shinha, maha payankar, nora deha singhamukha, gorjaye ishtar. Kaji said, when I went to the Hindu's house, broke the drum, and forbade the performance of congregational chanting, in my dreams that very night, I saw a greatly fearful lion roaring very loudly, his body like a human being's and his face like a lion's. Jayane Amar Upada Lafa Dia Chori Atta Atta Hashe Kore Donta Kora Wari. While I was asleep, the lion jumped on my chest, laughing fiercely and gnashing his teeth. Or bouquet naka dia goda swade bole. Farimu tomar buka verdanga boda badale. Placing its nails on my chest, the lion said in a grave voice, I shall immediately bifurcate your chest as you broke the mridanga drum. Moro kirtan mana koris, korimu tor shoy, anki mudi kapi ami pa bada boy. You've forbidden the performance of my congregational chanting. Therefore, I must destroy you. Being very much afraid of him, I closed my eyes and trembled. Hita deki singha bole, aiya sadoy, tore shikadite koidu tor parajoy. Seeing me so afraid, the lion said, I have defeated you just to teach you a lesson, but I must be merciful to you. She din bahut nahi, kaili utpata, tei shama kori na korinu pranaghata. On that day, you did not create a very great disturbance. Therefore, I have excused you and not taken your life. Oiche yadi punakoro, tobe na shahimu, shabang she tomare mari, jabon nashim. But if you perform such activities again, I shall not be tolerant. At that time, I shall kill you, your entire family, and all the meat eaters. Eto kohi singha gelo, amar hoila boy, e deko, nakachinna, amor hridoy. After saying this, the lion left. I was very much afraid of him. Just see the marks of his nails on my heart. Eto boli kaji nijo, buka de kailo, shuni deki sarva loka astrarja manilo. After this description, the Kaji showed his chest. Having heard him and seen the marks, all the people there accepted the wonderful incident. Kaji kohe iha ami kore na kohilo, she din amar eka piyada ailo. Kaji continued, I did not speak to anyone about this incident, but on that very day, one of my orderlies came to see me. Ashi kohe, gelu mui kirtan nishedite, ogni ulka mora muke lage achambite. After coming to me, the orderly said, when I went to stop the congregational chanting, suddenly flames struck my face. Urila shakala dari, muke hoilo brun, be peya da jai dar e biberon. My beard was burned and there were blisters on my cheeks. Every orderly who went gave the same description. Taha deki rahinu mui mahabhoi bang kirtana barjiho kade rahota boshiya. After seeing this, I was very much afraid. I asked them not to stop the congregational chanting, but to go sit down at home. Tabite nagore haibe swach chande kirtan, shuni shab lecha ashi koilo nibedon. Then all the meat eaters, hearing that there would be unrestricted congregational chanting in the city, came to submit a petition. Nagare Hindur Dharma, Borila Apar, Hori Hori Dwani Baiya, Nahi Shuniyar. The religion of the Hindus has increased unlimitedly. There are always vibrations of Hari Hari. We don't hear anything but this. Arm Lecha Kohe, Hindu Krishna Krishna Boli, Hashe Kande Nache Gai, Kari Yai Dhuli. One meat eater said, the Hindus say Krishna, Krishna, and they laugh, cry, dance, chant, and fall on the ground, smearing their bodies with dirt. Hori Hori Kori Hindu, Kore Kola Hola, Pata Shaha Shunile, Tomar Kori Beka Fal. Vibrating Hari Hari, the Hindus make a tumultuous sound. If the king, Patashaha, hears it, certainly he will punish you. Purport: Patashaha refers to the king, Nawab Hussain Shah, whose full name was Alauddin Shayad Hussain Shah. He was at that time the independent king of Bengal. Formerly, he was the servant of the cruel Nawab of the Habsi dynasty named Muzaffar Khan. But somehow or other, he assassinated his master and became the king. After gaining the throne of Bengal, technically called Masnada, he declared himself Shayad Hussain Alauddin Seref Mukka. There's a book called Riaja Us Salatina, whose author, Gholam Hussain, says that Nawab Hussain Shah belonged to the family of Mukka Serif. To keep his family's glory, he took the name Serif Mukka. Generally, however, he is known as Nawab Hussain Shah. After his death, his eldest son, Nasrat Shah, became king of Bengal, AD 1521 through 1533. This king also was very cruel. He committed many atrocities against the Vaishnavas. As a result of his sinful activities, one of his servants from the Koja group killed him while he was praying in the mosque. So this is a biographical sketch of Nawab Hussain Shah. And now the narrative continues. Tobe she jobon ere amita puchilo, Hindu Hari bole tar subhava janilo. I then inquired from these Yavanas, I know that these Hindus by nature chant Hari Hari. Tumita jobon kene anukhan Hindur devatar nam laha ki karon. The Hindus chant the name Hari because that's the name of their god. But you're Muslim meat eaters. Why do you chant the name of the Hindus' god? They're going on all these past verses. The Hindus are chanting Hari, Hari. They're chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So the Kashi asks him, you're not Hindus. You're Muslims. Why are you chanting Hari, Hari, Krishna, Krishna? Lecha kohe, Hindure ami kori parihash, keha keha Krishna das, keha Ramadas. Meat eater replied, sometimes I joke with the Hindus. Some of them are called Krishna Das, and some are called Ram Das. Keha Haridas Shada Bole Hari Hari, Jani Kara Gore Tanu, Hari Beka Churi. Some of them are called Haridas. They always chant Hari Hari, and thus I thought they would steal the riches from someone's house. Purport: another meaning of Hari Hari is I am stealing. I am stealing. She hoite jiva mor bole Hari Hari, ichcha nahi tabu bole hi upay kori. Since that time, my tongue also always vibrates the sound Hari Hari. I have no desire to say it, but still my tongue says it. I do not know what to do. Purport: sometimes demonic non-believers, not understanding the potency of the holy name, make fun of the Vaishnavas when the Vaishnavas chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This joking is also beneficial for such persons. Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 2nd chapter, verse 14, indicates that the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, even in joking, in the course of ordinary discussion, in indicating something extraneous or in negligence is called nama pasha, which is chanting that is almost on the transcendental stage. This nama pasha stage is better than nama parad. Nama pasha awakens the supreme remembrance of Lord Vishnu. When one remembers Lord Vishnu, he becomes free from material enjoyment. Thus he gradually comes forward toward the transcendental service of the Lord and becomes eligible to chant the holy name of the Lord in the transcendental position. That instruction is given in relation to the narration concerning a Jamil who chanted not with the intention of calling Lord Narayan, but just calling his son Narayan, but nonetheless got the benefit. Yes, here's the verse. Sanketyam parihasyam va stobam helanameva va vaikunta nama grahana asheshagha aram viduhu. One who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sins, even if he chants indirectly to indicate something else, jokingly for musical entertainment, or even negligently. This is accepted by all the learned scholars of scriptures. Saraswati has.
Pranams Param Pujya Guru Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas. Reading this brought back some memories of when I was in my early 20s, and somebody, I can't remember who, had told me that they'd gone to the movie theater. In that era, zombie movies were very popular. And they had commented, I can't remember the name of the movie or anything, but they were telling me how in that movie they showed a Hare Krishna devotee, he said, and even after he'd become a zombie, he was still chanting Hare Krishna. He meant it as a joke, but I said, well, that's the power of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, whether you're possessed or become a zombie, ghost or whatever. That's the power of the mantra, Hare Krishna.
And your friend chanted it while relating the what was in the movie. Very good. Arm lepcha kohe shuno amito e mote induke purihasha koinu shedin haite. Another meat eater said, "Sir, please hear me. Since the day I joked with some Hindus in this way, my tongue chants the Hare Krishna hymn and cannot give it up. I do not know what mystic hymns and herbal potions these Hindus know." So in this way, they reported to the Kaji. Eto shunita shobhare kore patailo ena kale pashandi Hindu panchashata ailo. After hearing all this, I sent all the mlechas back to their homes. 5 or 7 non-believing Hindus then approached me. Purport. The word pashandi refers to non-believers engaged in fruitive activities and to idolatrous worshippers of many demigods. Pashandis do not believe in one God, the Supreme Personality, Lord Vishnu. They think that all the demigods have the same potency as he. The definition of a Pashandi is given in the Tantra Shastra. Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Daivataihi samatvainaiva viksheta sa pashandi paved dhruvam. A pashandi is one who considers the great demigods such as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is asamordva. In other words, no one can be equal to or greater than him. The Pashandis do not believe this. They worship any kind of demigod, thinking it all right to accept whomever they please as the Supreme Lord. The Pashandis were against the Hare Krishna movement of Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And now we see practically that they also do not like our humble attempts to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. On the contrary, these Pashandis say that we are spoiling the Hindu religion because people all over the world are accepting Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, according to the version of Bhagavad Gita as it is. The Pashandis condemn this movement, and sometimes they accuse Vaishnavas from foreign countries of being not bona fide. Even so-called Vaishnavas, pseudo-followers of the Vaishnav cult, do not agree with our activities in making Vaishnavas in the Western countries. Such Pashandis existed even during the time of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they continue to exist. Despite all the activities of these Pashandis, however, the prediction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will triumph. Pritibite ache jata nagaradi gram sarbatra prachar hueve morna. In every town and village, the chanting of my name will be heard. No one can check the spread of the Krishna consciousness movement, because upon this movement is the benediction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this tendency is there to want to suppress Krishna consciousness. Sometimes it may be some atheistic government, sometimes government from some associated with some particular sectarian viewpoint. There's one place in Southeast Asia where, although we're busy preaching and so on, we manage, but officially we're banned because of the Hindus. The so-called Orthodox Hindus have seen the Hare Krishna movement as a threat to their, what would you say, their orthodoxy, according to which all the demigods are to be worshipped and everything is ceremonies and rituals, and of course their priestly business. So anyway, we're working on trying to reverse things. But this tendency is there. Pashandis, under the plea of Hinduism, want to propagate something which is contrary to the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. It's interesting that they'll claim to be Orthodox Hindus, but they don't accept the evidence of Bhagavad Gita. And we may not embrace Orthodox Hinduism, but we completely accept what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. So just see the fun. Then Murari asked, what is this Tantra Shastra that mentions what a Pashandi is? The Tantra Shastras are a class of Vedic literature. I'm trying to remember the details there. they're Smriti. First of all, they're not in the Vedas. They're Smriti Shastras, like the Puranas. And they particularly, if I recall, give direction for various kinds of worship and other such conduct. That tantras have gotten a bad rap because of a perception that tantra means left-handed practices, sexual activities under the name of religion. But that's not, although there are tantras like that, they certainly don't have a monopoly. So there are Satvata tantras and various tantric literature, which has to do with deity worship and has to do with, what shall we say, subjects that are pure, not these left-handed things. Hare Krishna. I hope that helps. And Saraswati has something. These Hindu Pashandis or pseudo-Vaishnavas are envious of the movement because they feel threatened as they want the fame. Well, I don't know the individuals involved. They're certainly opposed. And the report is that it has to do with their whole role in that society. They're the priests, and they have, well-established, what should we say, setup. They have a well-established setup. They're the priests. People give them contributions, and they're, this is their profession also. What would you say? Brahminical profession. And they really don't want this broken or blown open by a movement that says you don't need all this stuff, just chant Hare Krishna. That's not very much to their liking. Or a movement that says just focus on Krishna and you don't need to worship all these different gods. They've been brought up with the idea that all the gods are equal. I can't say whether they see a threat to their livelihood, or they're just envious, or they exactly what. But this is the behavior that's reported.
There's another comment from Minda Mataji. Hari Bol, Dandavat Pranam Maharaj. How can we help people understand that Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Lord?
Well, it's a very broad sort of a question. It depends on the circumstances, the people. We have Shastric evidence for those who accept Shastra. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishna, especially that verse. In the age of Kali, people take up the Sankirtan movement under the guidance of the Yuga Avatar, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have the practical demonstration that by Lord Chaitanya's mercy, the Hare Krishna movement is spreading all over the world. We have the evidence that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was accepted by such great scholars as Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. So there's a lot going for it, for that conclusion. And exactly what convinces any given person, that I can't say. Just if they associate with the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they may gradually come to see that. Who was it? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. His brother-in-law, Gopinathacharya, was always trying to persuade him, and he would never be persuaded. But by the desire of his brother-in-law, he got the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and accepted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of God. Hare Krishna. Someone else to read some verses.
Okay. आशिका है नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले गुरुदास जयद्रथ स्वामी नित्यानंद नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नित्यानंद नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे आशिका है हिंदू धर्म भांगीला निमाई ये कीर्तन प्रवर्तैला कबू सुनी नाई. Coming to me, the Hindus complained, Nimai Pandit has broken the Hindu religious principles. He has introduced the Sankirtan system, which we never heard from any scripture. Mangala Chandi Visha Hari Kari Jagarana Tate Vadya Nitya Gita Yogya Acharana. When we keep a night-long vigil to observe religious performances for the worship of Mangala Chandi and Vishahari, playing on musical instruments, dancing and chanting are certainly fitting customs. पूर्वे बाल चिला ए निमाय पंडित गया हैते आशिय चालय विपरीत. Nimai Pandit was previously a very good boy, but since he has returned from Gaya, he conducts himself differently. So these are the atheist Hindus coming to Kazi complaining about Nimai Pandit. That before he was a good boy, but since he has returned from Gaya, he conducts himself differently. And Gaya is a place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meets his spiritual master Ishwarapuri. So, yeah, he gets initiated, so he conducts himself differently. Uchakari Gaya Gita Deya Karatali Midanga Karatala Sabde Karne Lage Tali. Now he loudly sings all kinds of songs, claps and plays drums and hand cymbals, making a tumultuous sound that deafens our ears. न जानी की खाना मत हाना नाचे गाया हासे कांडे पदे उठे gada gadi yaya. We do not know what he eats that makes him become mad, dancing, singing, sometimes laughing, crying, falling down, jumping up and rolling on the ground. Nagari yake pagala kaila sada sankirtana ratri nidra nahi yai kari jagarana. He has made all the people practically mad by always performing congregational chanting. At night we cannot get any sleep. We are always kept awake. So then they were not complaining about the vigil they had for the Mangala Chandi, but they had objection about the congregational chanting, which at night we cannot get any sleep. Nimani Namachari Ebe Bolaya Gaurahari, Hindura Dharma Nasta Kaila, Pasanda Sanchari. Now he has given up his own name Nimai and introduced himself by the name Gaurahari. He has spoiled the Hindu religious principles and introduced the irreligion of non-believers. Krishnera kirtana kare nicha bada bada, e pape navadipe ha ibe ujada. Now the lower classes are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra again and again. For this sinful activity, the entire city of Navadvip will become deserted. So, even the lower class are chanting. So, they are feeling threatened. They're saying, for this sinful activity, the entire city of Navadvip will become deserted. Hindu Shastra Ishvara Nama Mahamantra Jani Sarvaloka Sunile Mantrera Virya Haya Hani. According to Hindu scripture, God's name is the most powerful hymn. If everyone hears the chanting of the name, the potency of the hymn will be lost. In the list of offenses in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, it is said, Dharma Vratta Tyaga Hutadi Sarva Subhakriya Samyam Api Pramadaha. To consider the chanting of the holy name of the Lord equal to the execution of some auspicious religious ceremony is an offense. According to the materialistic point of view, observing a religious ceremony invokes an auspicious atmosphere for the material benefit of the entire world. Materialists therefore manufacture religious principles to live comfortably and without disturbance in executing their material activities. Since they do not believe in the existence of God, they have manufactured the idea that God is impersonal and that to have some conception of God, one may imagine any form. Thus, they respect the many forms of the demigods as different representations or manifestations of the Lord. They are called Bahu Ishwaravadi, or followers of thousands and thousands of gods. They consider the chanting of the names of the demigods an auspicious activity. Great so-called Swamis have written books saying that one may chant any name, Durga, Kali, Shiva, Krishna, Rama, and so on, because any name is all right for invoking an auspicious atmosphere in society. Thus, they are called pasandis, unbelievers or faithless demons. Such pasandis do not know the actual value of the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna. Foolishly proud of their material birth as Brahmanas and their consequently higher position in the social order, they think of the other classes, namely the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Sudras, as lower classes. According to them, no one but the Brahmanas can chant the holy name of Krishna. For if others chanted the holy name, its potency will be reduced. They are unaware of the potency of Lord Krishna's name. The Brihat Naradiya Puran recommends Hari Nama, Hari Nama, Hari Nama Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nyastiva, Nyastiva, Nyastiva Gatiranyata. For spiritual progress in this age of Kali, there is no alternative, no alternative, no alternative to the holy name, the holy name, the holy name of the Lord. The Pasandis do not accept that the potency of the holy name of Krishna is so great that one can be delivered simply by chanting the holy name. Also, although this is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, 3rd chapter, 51st verse, Kirtanad eva Krishnasya mukta sangha param rajet. Any man from any part of the world who practices chanting the holy name of Krishna can be liberated and after death go back home, back to Godhead. The rascal pasandis think that if anyone but a Brahmana chants the holy name, the potency of the holy name is vanquished. According to the judgment, instead of delivering the fallen souls, the potency of the holy name is reduced. The long, purport. Kurma, would you like to comment on this?
There's, as you've mentioned a lot here, the Pashandis object to the Hare Krishna movement. They're in the business of chanting for some material benefit. And they think that, yes, maybe chanting Hare Krishna is also something like that. One of the auspicious hymns, you can chant Hare Krishna, or you can chant Durga Durga, or you can chant whatever you like. But it should be within this framework of pious rituals for getting material advancement. And they think that, well, you can worship this god or that god or any god. This is our religion. This is Hindu religion. Someone observed that the Hindu religion is quite a mess. In Christianity, there's a sort of orthodoxy. We know that Jesus is God and so on. In Islam, there's a clear basic principle, although the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu criticized that your scholars don't go very deep, and there's meat eating, animal killing, and so on. But at least at the get-go, we know who God is. Allah is God, and we all, and Muhammad is his servant. We all subscribe to this basic principle. When you come to Hinduism, anything goes. Kali is God, Durga is God, Krishna is God. I'm God, you're God. Anything goes, and there's no who's to say. And so people come up with all of these ideas and propagate all these different ideas, and it becomes difficult to discriminate what is what. So therefore we have to be guided by the acharyas and shastras. Saraswati has her hand up.
Guru Maharaj, I'm a little bit confused here, because on the one hand, in the purport it says the Basandis do not accept that the potency of the holy name of Krishna is so great that one can be delivered simply by chanting the holy name. But then a few sentences down it says, the rascal Basandis think that if anyone but a Brahmana chants the holy name, the potency of the holy name is vanquished, and according to their judgment, instead of delivering the fallen souls, the potency of the holy name is reduced. So do they or do they not believe that the Lord's name has the potency to deliver the fallen souls? And if they do, and they believe that only the Brahmins should be chanting and taking advantage of this being delivered, then according to them, they feel that it's only the Brahmins that are eligible to be delivered by the chanting and no one else.
At the beginning of the purport, Prabhupada cites Dharma Brata Tyag Utari Sarva Shubha Kriya Samyam Api Pramada. That one of the offenses is to think that chanting of Hare Krishna is one of the auspicious ritualistic activities performed for fruitive gain. So typically the Brahmins think like that these, yes, we chant the Vedic hymns, they have potency. What is that potency? That one can be freed from sins, one can get punya, and with that punya one can make progress in dharma, artha, kama, moksha also. But of course the emphasis is on artha and kama. So first thing we can say is they're confused. They don't have a clear understanding of what the holy name of Krishna is. Even if they think that, yes, this holy name can therefore that meeting was there and someone glorified the holy name. It's equal to 10,000 Ashwamedha yagyas. It's so potent. But that potency, they thought, was in terms of material progress. And some may also think that you can get liberation by chanting Hare Krishna. And what liberation is, that's also We can have a discussion about that. Be different opinions. Liberation means merging with God. Liberation just means you're free from sinful reactions. Liberation means this, that. Liberation means you become God. So there's a lot of confusion on their side. And sometimes they may think, yes, by chanting Hare Krishna, one can get liberation. But the chanting should be done. You can hear the chanting, but it should be chanted by a Brahmin. Just as we say, chanting should be heard from the lips of a devotee. They say, oh, it should be heard from a Brahmin so that the potency will be there. So then we don't want this chanting distributed freely. It should be restricted to preserve the religious status quo. Hare Krishna.
And there's something in the chat. Murali Gupta Prabhu is saying, interesting that almost anything is allowed in Hinduism except chanting Hare Krishna and being dedicated to Krishna alone.
Hare Krishna.
And Jacqueline says, since they believe that the Lord's potency is limited, capable of being diminished.
Yet the Lord may be unlimited, but the mantras have limitations. You know, these are formulas. And they have potency under certain circumstances. That's the nature of their understanding. God may be unlimited, but these names are not God. These names are hymns. And the hymns are supposed to be chanted this way or that way for proper result, which in their mind, again, is Dharmartha, Kama, and maybe moksha.
Praveen Prabhu is quoting, Go Koti Danam Grahane Kagasya Prayaga Gangodaka Kalpavashaha Yagya Yutam Meru Suvarna Danam Govinda Kirtana Samam Satam Shai. Even if one distributes 10 million cows in charity during an eclipse of the sun, lives at the confluence of the Ganges and Yamuna for millions of years, or gives a mountain of gold in sacrifice to the Brahmanas, he does not earn 100 part of the merit derived from chanting Hare Krishna.
You'd like to finish the purport?
Okay. Yeah, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirms in his Sikshastaka, Caitanya Sada Hari, one must chant the holy name of the Lord, always 24 hours a day. The Pasandis, however, are so fallen and falsely proud of having taken birth in Brahmana families that they think that instead of delivering all the fallen souls, the holy name becomes important when constantly chanted by lower class men. Significant in verse 211 are the words Krishnara Kirtana Kare Nicha Bada Bada, indicating that anyone can join the Sankirtan movement. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd Canto, 4th chapter, 18th verse. Kirata Hunandra Pulinda Pulkasha Abhira Shumba Yavana Khasadaya. This is a list of the names of Chandalas. The Pasandis say that when these lower class men are allowed to chant, the influence is enhanced. They do not like the idea that others should also develop spiritual qualities because this would curb their false pride in having taken birth in families of the elevated Brahmana caste with a monopoly on spiritual activities. But despite all protests from so-called Hindus and members of the Brahmana caste, we are propagating the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world according to the injunctions of the Shastras and the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus, we are sure that we are delivering many fallen souls, making them bona fide candidates for going back home, back to Godhead.
Thank you very much. So let's chant Hare Krishna.
Okay. Anybody, any volunteers?
Shamsundar Prabhu, would you like to chant? Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Om Vishnuvad Panam Supadi Prajukacharya Stotra Sri Srimati A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai, Nam Acharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Jayādvaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Mukund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Tham Ki Jai, Navadip Tham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Ki Jai, Gangamai Ki Jai, Jamunamai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you very much. Jayādvaita Swami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.